the Plan Commission, City of Marshfield, April 15th, Tuesday, in the council chambers. Call to order. Roll call.
Mayor Teestrake?
Here.
Councilmember O'Reilly? Here. Commissioner Frederick? Here. Commissioner Piles?
Here.
Commissioner Bernardi?
Here.
Commissioner Meyer?
Here.
Commissioner Caprillion will not be with us this evening, but we do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Approval of agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Tim makes the motion. And who would like to second it? Jake seconds it. All those in favor, just say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4, approval of minutes, March 18th, 2025.
Well, there were a couple things.
Pardon me?
There were a few things. The copy I got, it didn't have, it had Mr. Piles present was one thing, and he wasn't here last time. The other thing was the motions, whoever made the motions, it was blank. And the third thing was the adjournment was, it didn't have the minutes. It was blank. It just had 8 blank.
The whole thing is wrong. I'm looking at it now.
Those 3, yeah, and I didn't see anything else.
It looks like the roughed out copy that our administrative permit specialist Natalie puts together before the meeting. So
Yeah.
I wasn't here that meeting. Somebody covered for me. I believe it was Jessica, but that's not what's in here. So we'll follow up on that. Why don't you save the approval of the minutes until the May meeting? Thank you. I apologize.
Yes, and thank you for bringing that. Yes,
didn't even see this until now.
Yeah, so we actually read what we're given.
Yeah, that's great. That's good. That's what we like.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Good job, Rita.
Yes, absolutely. Well, actually, I did adjourn the meeting at 8 o'clock. If you look on the third page.
But there are no zeros, just 8 blank.
Oh, 8 p.m. it said. Yeah,
said
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Rita, thank you.
Truly,
Yes.
I
Under the
apologize.
microscope. That's okay, though. We like that. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's truly an unfinished document that was roughed out for the meeting for the person covering for me, and something went wrong in the translation here, so we'll get that on for me.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 5, identify potential conflicts of interest. Please be advised per City Policy 3.340 that any member of this body shall declare a conflict if they have an interest, financial or otherwise direct or indirect, or engage in a business or transaction or professional activity, or incur an obligation of any nature that is in conflict with the proper discharge of the body's official duties. Any conflicts of interest this evening? Seeing none, move on to number 6, citizen comments. Citizen comments. Third time citizen comments. Seeing no citizens and no comments, we'll go on to item number 7. Conditional use permit request by Preston Tippin, North Ridge Church for an exception to section 18-65-9, non-residential accessory structure of the zoning code to allow for the construction of a non-residential accessory building prior to the construction of a principal structure for the property located at 311 East Heritage Drive, partial 33-07387. Presenter, Steve Barg, City Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. I was a city planner a long time ago in one of the Twin Cities suburbs, so I've done it before, but you're getting kind of the second string tonight. Bryce Hembrook is on vacation. He's our contract planner with SCH, but he provided the memo, and he and I have talked about this and gone through it, so I'm fairly well versed in what's going on here. So this is a request by North Ridge Church. That's located, the property is located at 311 East Heritage Drive in the south part of the city. Northridge owns the property. They've been using it for occasional outdoor events. They're proposing to construct a garage on the property to store mowing equipment and those kind of things, the way you would store for outside use. There's no principal structure on the property yet. That's why a conditional use permit is required. Typically, you have a principal structure before an accessory structure, and there's reasons that I'll get to that in a minute. So anyway, their intent for the property is to continue using it for outdoor events and community engagement, at least for the near term. And that's, so they're not planning a principal structure at this time. The surrounding uses to the north and east, both vacant. All that area to the north and east is community mixed use, as is the subject property. To the south, it's outside of the city limits, and then to the west, there's a residential and auto business, and that is also zoned community mixed use. So the zoning is fairly compatible with the community mixed use of the Northridge property. The applicable section of the code is 18-65-9B. As I said, I'll just read it. that says that no accessory use, building, or structure shall be constructed prior to construction of a principal structure, except for an accessory structure when abutting a lot under the same ownership that contains the principal building. So in other words, if somebody owns a property that has a building on it, a house, for example, and they own an adjacent lot they want to put a garage on, that would not require a conditional use permit. That would be exempt. Otherwise, a conditional use permit is required for any exceptions to this ordinance provision. Northridge is proposing to construct a 36 by 18, roughly 650 square foot, 3-bay garage. Again, it would be to store mowers, equipment, and supplies for the upkeep of the property. They own a fairly extensive property, which is why that would seem to be appropriate. The building will be constructed on slab, be vinyl siding and a shingled roof, and the garage will be on the west side of the property. Now, again, getting to why accessory structures are normally not allowed on property that don't have a principal use, because accessory structures are intended to complement the use. If you have a house, you want a garage to complement it. If you have a commercial business, you might need a storage building to house some of the supplies, equipment, product that you have. Without a principal structure, accessory structures can disrupt the intended land use. However, in this case, staff would agree that we don't foresee an issue with this because of the size of this property, and allowing the accessory structure to be constructed for the sole purpose of caring for the property is reasonable, because they have a fairly large property to care for, and that requires equipment to do so. The garage is also going to be located further back from the property lines, and therefore not really impacting surrounding properties in a noticeable way. Wisconsin 2017 Act 67 says that for decisions to be made whether to approve or deny a conditional use permit, you need to look at certain criteria. Staff has gone through those, or I should say our consultant, Bryce Hembrick, has gone through those. You see those in your packet. Is it in harmony with the comprehensive plan? We don't see any conflict with the comprehensive plan. Will it result in a substantial or undue adverse effect on nearby properties based upon, again, the size of this property, what surrounds it, and the distance from the property line? We don't see any substantial negative effect being imposed on other nearby properties or anything that would be an undue impact. The utilities are not an issue, and we see that it's going to probably not cause any particular conflicts with surrounding uses. So staff would recommend approval of the conditional use permit request by Preston Tippin on behalf of Northridge for an exception to 1865-9B, and that's to allow a non-residential accessory building prior to construction of a principal structure on the property at 311 East Heritage Drive. Subject to 4 conditions. First one is that minor site plan changes can be administratively approved as long as the changes do not result in the development becoming non-compliant with this commercial or conditional use permit or any other code requirements. Number 2, this garage may not be used for commercial purposes and shall be used only for storage of equipment intended for maintenance of use of the on the subject property. This permit shall run with the current property owner, slow down, Steve. The current property owner only. It should become void if the property is sold without a principal building on the site. Removal of the garage will be the sole responsibility of the current property owner and shall be completed prior to sale of the property. And then relating to the last condition, number 4, any potential buyer with the approval of the current property owner may request a new conditional use permit prior to that final sale of the property if they wish to keep that garage on the site. But in summary, after all that's said and done, this is not something we would normally allow. It's a rare instance that we would bring one forward. But again, given the size of the site and the uses surrounding it, and the fact that the property does need to be maintained in a significant way, given the mowing and whatnot required, staff recommends approval subject to those conditions.
We're now going to do a public hearing, and public hearing is open. Any comments in public hearing? Any comments in public hearing? Any comments in public hearing? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. If you want to come up to the podium, that would be great. Thank you.
And give us your name and address for the record when you do
right
the podium up there.
There you go. And then there's a
little microphone at the base of the microphone. There's a little button. You press it, it'll turn red. that'll get you into the sound system.
On
for
the left-hand side, yep,
Yep.
right up on the
Just
top.
turn red for you?
The little, yep,
Right on
right on the
Right,
base.
right at the base of it.
Yep, there you go.
Try that.
Dave Pankratz, 206 East 17th Street, Marshfield,
How do you spell your last name?
Pankratz.
Thank you. And your address?
206 East 17th Street in Marshfield.
Okay, go ahead.
The only question I had, is there a timeline where the principal structure has to be built, or is there no timeline for what?
The current recommendation with the conditions stated do not require one. You could certainly ask the commission to consider one. I don't get the impression that the church has anything planned anytime soon for the principal use of that property. Like I said earlier, they're using it for outdoor events and congregational activities.
That's the only question I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The public hearing is now closed. Are there any comments or questions from the committee? Seeing none, we'll take someone needs to make a motion that we pass this. Michael
I'll make a
Riley makes the
motion.
motion. And Rita seconds the motion. Again, any questions, comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Certainly. Mayor T-Strick,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Reilly,
Yes.
Commissioner Frederick,
Yes.
Commissioner Piles,
Yes.
Commissioner Bernardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you. Absolutely. Staff updates.
Just a continuing dialogue to keep you up to date on with respect to the Weinbrenner property, trying to redevelopment that site at 305 West 3rd Street. And we're still talking with Jay Jeffers about a potential exclusive right to negotiate with the city. It's all about, trying to put the pieces in place to get things going. Again, Weinbrenner itself won't be out of that facility as part of their transition until probably, the start of the second quarter of 2026. So there's about a year yet that they'll be inhabiting at least some part of that building. That's probably the most important thing that I have to report today.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Item 9, items for further agendas. Are there items for further agendas?
No, but I just want to thank one of our outgoing people here, Franklin Piles. I understand that this is your last meeting. Thank you so much for your time on the Planning Commission. It's not glamorous. I think you can probably admit to that, and I see you nodding a little bit. But thank you for serving on this body and weighing in on some issues that are affecting our community. We do appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Franklin. Thank you for stepping up also. Again, people like you are what makes this happen. We have a great committee. I still think we're the best committee of all.
Huh?
Because if we don't get the stuff done, well, there we go. Yeah.
The fun committee.
Seeing no other items, who would like to adjourn the meeting? Jake? And
I think Franklin ought to wrap it up.
Yep, Franklin, yeah. Yes, there we go. Thank you.
You deserve the final word at this point.
Absolutely. And thank you all, and we'll see you next month. Perfect. Yeah, except you, Franklin. Yes, sir. But you can come join us if you want anytime.
Thanks, everybody. Have a nice night.